So here we go. Let's dive in.
Great.
So we're going to dive into the number 10 comic movie of all time. So I'll quickly read off everybody else's. So Ashley Paul said Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Stop me if you want to talk about any of these. Michael Gordon said Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Linton said The Punisher from 2004. I think that's the Thomas Jane Punisher film.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Coberly, Watchmen. Malachi Ward said Ghost World. Cody said The Mask. Matt Kressel said Justice League New Frontier, which is an animated DC film.
Sure.
Which is really good, based on a comic that is also really, really good.
Okay.
By Darwin Cook. Eddie Sone said Man of Steel. John Pack said Superman the Movie from 78. Bobby Nash said Spider-Man 2. Nate said The Dark Knight. David Graham said Men in Black. Asa said Captain America Winter Soldier. Anthony said Spider-Man 2. Tim Posada said 300. Elvis said Blade. Sandra said The Dark Knight. Caleb Linden said the Superman trilogy, which I don't quite know what that is because there is no Superman trilogy, but I'm assuming he means the Christopher Reeve films, which there were actually 4 of, but that's close enough. So
he's too young to.
Yeah.
He's too young.
Or he's just blocking Superman 4 out of his mind.
Well, that would also be
should.
that would be a smart move, actually.
Mike Rinaldi said Iron Man. Jim Baldwin said Red. Leo Partible said The Matrix. Chris Hayner said Spider-Man 2. Hannibal said Sin City. Michael Young said Hellboy 2. And Isaac Johnson said, your favorite film of all time, Logan.
Yeah, there you go. That's going to probably show up more often.
You want to hate on Logan now, or do you want to say
No,
that for
we'll
later?
Say that.
Okay,
We'll say that.
all right. Okay, Justin, what is your number 10 film?
I think I shared it with Tim. I put 300. Now, 300 is not actually in my top 10, but it is. I'm just going to let that sink in for a second.
All right.
I think that 300, it's already over 10 years old, was a really important comic book film. The visuals were unlike anything that had been produced, and I had some really great conversations with people about that movie. At the time, there was a book called Wild at Heart by John Eldridge, and I just started saying that 300 is Wild at Heart on film. All of his relationships, King Leonidas, all of his relationships are like super healthy throughout the entire movie. He is like a man that is so cool. It ends with that great rousing speech that's still a great movie speech. So as a movie overall, I don't love watching it. I haven't watched it in a long time, but it feels like an important one to have on my list for those reasons.
Cool. Jay, what do you have at number 10?
I have Man of Steel.
Okay.
And let me explain this for a second, because I do know that Man of Steel has significant issues, but I would say for the first 60% of that film, it's a 10 out of 10. It is a fantastic film 60% of the way through. I think it starts to lose its way, especially near the end battle there, that's like, why are we still battling, and why are you destroying so many buildings?
When they overcompensate for Superman Returns, which never even throws a punch.
Exactly, yeah. That movie didn't have any fighting. Let's just do lots of fighting. But I really enjoyed, I think it's the best trailer, maybe of all time. The trailer for that
Rogue
is
One.
Fantastic. Rogue One's great too, and I love Star Wars, but that's just an amazing trailer. So that's my 10th spot.
Okay. My number 10 is X-Men First Class. I think that's still the best X-Men movie to come out yet. And I love it because, we got Bryan Singer, he stepped away, and so Brett Ratner came in and gave us X-Men The Last Stand, which most people hate. I don't hate it, but it's not as good as the other stuff. So we were a little worried what's going on with X-Men and stuff like that. And then Matthew Vaughn comes in and makes this amazing film and just kind of takes it in a whole new direction. We get James McAvoy, we get Michael Fassbender, and it's just awesome.
Was that the one with the secret Kevin Bacon?
The secret Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, he wasn't in any of the trailers.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
right.
he just shows up as the villain. It was awesome.
And, okay, funny story about that. So Elvis Illescas and I, by the time you hear this, maybe about a month back, we did a podcast on The Martian, and Sebastian Stan, who plays the Winter Soldier, is in The Martian, and I called him out by name, but when I called him out, I said Sebastian Shaw, which I didn't correct until the end of the podcast. And even then, I said, I don't know who Sebastian Shaw is, which is stupid, because I do know who Sebastian Shaw is. He's Kevin Bacon's character from this movie.
That's right.
Oh. So I felt stupid. And now you all know that I'm not quite that stupid. Just really forgetful.
Just to piggyback on that, that is my favorite X-Men film as well, and also on my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to number 9. So let me read off everybody else's number 9. So Ashley has Kingsman: The Secret Service. Michael Gordon has American Splendor. Zack Linton, Hellboy. Ben Coberly, Iron Man. Malachi Ward, Superman the Movie. And by the way, when I say Superman the Movie, that's the one from 78 with Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the technical title, Superman the Movie.
Okay.
Cody has Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
All right.
Matt Kressel has X-Men First Class. Eddie Sone has Guardians of the Galaxy. John Pack, Batman vs. Superman. Bobby Nash, Batman, which I assume is the Keaton film.
Mm-hmm.
Nate has Ant-Man, which doesn't pop up on here too much, so that's cool.
Ant-Man, yeah, there you go.
Cate has Men in Black, which I didn't realize was a comic before it was a movie, so that one surprised me.
I didn't realize that until doing research for this
Yeah.
podcast.
I had to do the same
and
thing.
it's in my honorable mentions, which doesn't mean anything, but it's special to me.
That means something. Asa has Sin City, Anthony Holdier, Constantine. Constantine is a really good one. That's one of those DC films that people didn't really realize at the time when it came out. But
It's in my top 5.
okay, so we'll get back to that. Tim Posada has Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Elvis has League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I'm pretty sure that's the only time that one pops up on here. I've always heard that regarded as a pretty terrible movie, but you like what you like, right?
So
I don't have a problem with that.
I wanted that movie to be so good. That was the single most disappointing movie I've ever seen in my life because I was so excited. At the time, I loved Smash Mouth that they used.
See Green Lantern then?
Oh, I saw it.
This is worse than Green Lantern?
It didn't have as high of expectations for me as Mystery Men did. Yeah.
Fair enough. Sandra Dimas has Big Hero 6, which my son loves. Caleb Linden has Watchmen. Mike Rinaldi has Superman the Movie. Jim Baldwin has The Kingsman. Leo Partible has Watchmen. Chris Hayner has Deadpool. Hannibal Tabu, Watchmen. Michael Young, Deadpool. And Isaac Johnson, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So, Jay, why don't we start with you? What is your number 9 film?
Number 9 is The Amazing Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah. Now, granted, I have not seen Homecoming yet. So I haven't seen that. I'm not saying that it... Maybe that one's better. It may be better. I don't know. But that's the first Spider-Man that I actually really felt was getting it right. For whatever reason, the tone of the Tobey Maguire films, I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Except for the third one. But I enjoyed those films. It just wasn't quite tonally right for me. And I'm not like a huge Tobey Maguire fan either, so I liked The Amazing Spider-Man a lot.
So do I. I didn't like the Sam Raimi films either, so I was excited when that one came out.
Yeah.
Justin, what's your number 9?
Sandra and I, we agreed on Big Hero 6. This is another one that's on my top 10 list that isn't on my top 10 list because I'm trying to cover multiple categories. This is how I looked at this. I tried not to have multiple of the same category on my list.
I know ranking is very stressful.
It is.
Yes.
So Big Hero 6 is a great film. It's one that I can watch with my little nieces and nephews, which none of the other films are yet. I look forward to that day. And it's an interesting one that gives language to loss and death in a really accessible way for kids, because those are very real things that people will have to deal with, maybe sometimes at a younger age.
Yeah.
And so it feels like Inside Out or something like that, where you can give these kids a way to start processing their emotions or to start talking about their emotions in a really friendly way. And then Baymax is just the most huggable thing. I actually got to hug him in Florida, so that was awesome.
Nice.
My son literally takes naps with Baymax every day. Little stuffed Baymax sitting in his bed. My number 9 is one that I'm kind of surprised ended up at number 9. I would have guessed that it was going to be higher, but it's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
So, which is obviously an amazing movie, and we've talked about it literally right here at this table on a previous episode. Yeah. So we don't have to dive into it too much. It's sitting right here next to us.
Yeah.
So
it shows up on both Justin and my list.
So. I know, and I'm sure it's way higher than it is on mine. And like I said, I'm surprised as where it ended up.
You can fail at creating lists. That's okay.
Whoa. Dang. Harsh. All right, let's go into number 8. So, For our submissions, Ashley Pauls has Wonder Woman at number 8. Michael Gordon has The Crow. Zack Linton, Men in Black. Ben Coberly, Blade. Malachi Ward has one here that I've never heard of, and I'm not even sure I'm going to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah.
But I think it's Nausicaa.
Right on.
Have either of you heard of that?
No, I have now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now I
All
gotta
right.
watch it.
Go check it out. I don't know how to say it. I don't even know how to write it, but check it out. Cody has Ant-Man. Matt Kressel has The Dark Knight Rises, which we don't see a whole lot on this list. I feel like The Dark Knight Rises gets a lot of hate.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I love it.
I think it mostly gets hate because of how good the other two films are.
Yeah.
So.
But it has one of the best endings of any movie of all time. It's so good, in my opinion. Eddie Sone has Thor. John Pack, Guardians of the Galaxy. Bobby Nash, The Avengers. Nate Labate has Batman Begins. I think the first time that's popped up. David Graham, Captain America, The First Avenger. Cate has Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Asa has Hellboy. Anthony Holdier has V for Vendetta, which doesn't show up a whole lot. Tim Posada has Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Elvis has one that I love and almost made my list. It's not a superhero film, but it's a great comic film. It's The Losers.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Losers?
I have seen it because you let me borrow the comic back in the day.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed the comic.
Yeah.
And the film was a good adaptation of it.
Yeah. And you haven't seen The Losers?
I haven't.
It's it's awesome. It's like all your favorite comic actors before they became who they are. Like Chris Evans is in it, and Idris Elba is in it.
Dude that plays Negan.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, yeah.
So
It's worth a watch. It's fun. It's a fun
It's really
movie.
fun.
Yeah.
So
I'm writing this down.
check it out. Sandra Dimas has Kingsman. Caleb Linden has Hellboy. Mike Rinaldi has The Avengers. I'm pretty sure that's the lowest ranking of The Avengers that we've seen here.
It's not even on my list.
Oh.
So.
Jim Baldwin has a super cool one here. Buck Rogers from 1939.
Nice.
So I haven't even seen that. My only context of Buck Rogers is like the cheesy TV show that was on in the 80s, which you guys are giving me blank stares, which makes me feel old. That's
Didn't
fine.
really watch much of that, no.
Leo Partible has The Avengers. Chris Hayner has Batman. Keaton film, I'm assuming. Hannibal, Tabu, Deadpool. Michael Young has Edge of Tomorrow, which I think we have to do an episode on Edge of Tomorrow.
We
at
do,
some
yeah.
point.
We definitely do.
So we did Oblivion already, which
can
we've
invite
clarified is not
Michael.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, we can invite Michael over.
There you go. And Isaac Johnson has Dread.
All right.
So those are our submissions. Justin, what's your number 8?
Ashley and I were
And
thinking
let me
the
ask,
same
is
thing.
it-
And
is it
we're
actually part of your
yes,
top 10, or
No,
is
this
it not?
is number
Okay.
8, and we're actually to my top 10 list
Okay,
now.
all right.
So I put Wonder Woman, like Ashley. I think that's the best DC movie in this new iteration of DC movies. It's so hopeful. It's so substantially good. She, the character of Wonder Woman, appeals to me in just about the exact same way that Captain America does, where they're just incredible people, wonderful leaders, and so earnest and want what's right just because it's right, not because they get something from it.
Yeah.
And then I think there's something about shields, because her and Captain America, something about shields.
Red, white, and blue shield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I doubt they're going to do the whole invisible jet thing, but there's still,
Yeah.
like, just that question is looming is kind of exciting for me.
Yeah.
And I'm more excited to see Justice League because of that movie. Than,
Oh, yeah, totally. Jay, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is X-Men First Class.
Okay.
So that's the highest ranking X-Men. I do love that film. I think it was cast really well.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that they actually had to make some of the characters had to make a choice at the end. It's very compelling. I think.
Yeah. Cool.